So I just got done watching episode 6 of Bill Nye Saves the World, and in this episode he talked about vaccines, anti-vaxxers, and why it's important to be vaccinated. Um, and I've got to say that I think this episode was Bill Nye at his best. There's pretty much nothing that I would disagree with, besides a slight possible reference to smallpox blankets with Native Americans. Um, but that and that's something I can, maybe talk about in a different video. But for the most part, I was like, this was a really good episode. And since I actually want to make more videos covering vaccines, covering the um, anti-vaxxers issues, I really appreciated it. And one thing I really appreciated the most was towards the end there was an interview with his expert panels, which don't necessarily aren't necessarily made up of experts. But one of the people on his expert panel is a former anti-vaxxer, somebody who wasn't getting her kids vaccinated, and then when her kids got sick, she was like, "Oh crap, this was not a good decision to make. This was not the best move I've made in my life." Um, but when she talked about her story, this really stuck out to me, where she went to a pediatrician and was telling him, "Hey, I haven't been vaccinating my kids," and the pediatrician just rolled his eyes at her and kind of gave her this attitude like, "Great, now here's another crazy person I have to deal with." And I really appreciated that she talked about this because I've suspected for a while that some of the issues with anti-vaxxers is that they don't have somebody that they feel they can trust sitting down with them and legitimately addressing their concerns. Um, because honestly, if somebody's a parent, they have kids, um, they want to know. They want to know that their kids are safe. They want to know that this medicine isn't just being pushed on them. They want to know that what they're giving their kids is legitimate. And it's not just, oh, blindly trust the science. And it's something that in a kind of roundabout, ironic way, I really appreciate that these people want to understand for themselves. But the problem is that those of us who are scientifically educated, whose job it is to explain science to people, are really dropping the ball. We're telling people just take our word for it, and we're not really engaging them. Whereas the anti-vaxxer literature, it's engaging people and saying, well, here's all the reasons you should think this way, here's all the reasons you should think that way. Whereas those of us who actually understand the science are saying, just take our word for it. And, I've talked about scientism before in my videos, and it's basically a big word that means believing scientific claims uncritically. And I see this as a problem with scientists. I see this as a problem with experts. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Please don't get me wrong there. I take all my vaccines. I will take extra vaccines if I had the opportunity to. But I think that very often, like, we'll blindly believe what we've been told. And in the age of the internet, that's not good enough for most people. And that can be a mixed bagged thing because the people starting to think for themselves is what's creating this. So people are, hearing all these reasons why they shouldn't vaccinate their kids, and all they're hearing from those who understand science is, oh, we'll take our word for it. I mean, come on. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but come on. We have to do better than this. We have to do more to really sit down with people, really assuage their fears, and really be willing to meet with them on their level. Now, granted, I know there's always going Granted, I know there's always going to be somebody out there who thinks the Earth is flat and the Holocaust never happened, and who comes or thinks that Jesus was copied from Horus from ancient Egyptian mythology. But there's crazy ideas out there that people have, and I think that might just be the time period we live in, where people are just now starting to think for themselves, which is a good thing in many ways. But in many ways, people don't know how to think for themselves yet. So people are thinking for themselves, but they're not doing it properly. And also, I think those of us in the scientific community and in the medical community are doing a very poor job of really sitting down with people and being able to talk with them like people and not as some trope we read about in a book somewhere. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. So, Bill Nye, you know what? There's few people who will disagree with you on a lot of issues more than I will, but I thought you did a phenomenal, amazing job in this particular episode, and I'm willing to give credit where credit is due. If you gave me permission, I would totally upload this episode to my channel. But anyway, so go watch episode 6 of Bill Nye Saves the World. It was great. Also, check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Be sure to subscribe, comment, rate, and also share my videos with your friends. Share my videos on Facebook. Because I really don't ask for donations on here, and nobody is ever obligated to give them to me. These videos are free. They're for people to watch. But the best thing you can do really is share my videos with others, because I think that's what I would prefer over a donation anyway. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day. This is Greg, out.